Okay, hi everyone. My name is Brian, and today I would like to show you about short-term variability of carbon chemistry in two contrasting seagrass meadows at Dongsha Island, implications for pH buffering and CO2 sequestration. So this is a paper about carbon chemistry in two different places at Dongsha Atoll and their ability of pH buffering and CO2 sequestration. First of all, I would like to introduce the TA, total alkalinity. Total alkalinity is the ability of water to resist the changes in pH value. And the second, TA will be affected by all basic ions. These two messages are the must-know message before we started. Okay, so why do TA so important for our research? Does it help the seagrass meadow boost the photosynthesis? Actually, it does. With higher TA, you got higher pH because of the basic ions. And with higher pH, you got the lower partial pressure of the carbon dioxide. And with the lower PCO2, you can there's more CO2 can dissolve into the ocean, which is a good thing for carbon capture. Seagrass meadows only occupy 0.1% area of the ocean, but contribute 10% of the burial organic carbon. That means the seagrass meadows are the high efficiency carbon capture system. So we would like to know why seagrass meadows so efficient at capturing carbon and how seagrass help buffer against ocean acidification. Here comes our research. We select two different places at the Dongsha Atoll. First is the North Shore, and the second is the Inner Lagoon. Let's zoom in and look their differences. As you can see, the North Shore is an open shore that connected to the ocean, which means it will be affected by the waves and the hydrodynamic, which leads to the water residence time very short. In contrast, Inner Lagoon is the semi-enclosed and sheltered zone with the slow water flow, which means the water residence time are very long. In these two places, we use sensors to capture data such as DO, DIC, PCO2, pH, and CTD, and the most important, TA, total alkalinity. Okay, let's look at the data we got in these two places. It significantly shows that Inner Lagoon had the higher TA than the North Shore in every salinity. And we would like to know where this gap comes from. Especially, they are not very far apart, and they almost had the same species of seagrass. That's why we need a thing called AOU, apparent oxygen utilization. You can use AOU to track the extent of photosynthesis and respiration, because they are both related to O2 and leads to the TA's changes. First, photosynthesis decrease the AOU and increase the TA. In contrast, respiration increase the AOU and decrease the TA. So by using AOU, we can easily tell the TA's change in the whole area. When the AOU is smaller than 0, which means photosynthesis are stronger than respiration in this area, and the TA will increase. In contrast, the AOU, when AOU is larger than 0, which means respiration are stronger than photosynthesis, that TA will be decreased. Okay, before we look at the connection between AOU and TA, first we need to normalize our TA data. Because of the salinity, we would like to get rid of the effect by salinity. So the TA now is NTA. And you looked at the photosynthesis and the respiration, the theoretical AOU methods should be looked like the red line over here. You can see the photosynthesis increase the TA, so it moves up, and the AOU will be decreasing, it will move left. And the respiration, TA decrease, it goes down, and the AOU increase, it goes right. Okay, so now we know the AOU method. We can we can see that the data we got is the green line over here. The slope didn't match in Inner Lagoon, but match in North Shore. That tells us there's something other happening in Inner Lagoon instead of only photosynthesis and respiration. That's why we need another thing called DIC, dissolved inorganic carbon. We can use these parameter to find out which reaction happening in Inner Lagoon. The first is CO3 dissolution, which is CD, and the second one is aerobic respiration, AR, and the third one is sulfate reduction, SR. Okay, first one, CaCO3 dissolution. You can look at the formula right here. It produces the bicarbonate, and it will cause the increase of the TA because bicarbonate is a basic ion, and TA will be affected by all basic ions. And there's another formula down here. You can see the hydrogen ion has been used in this formula, so it decreases and the pH will increase. It also leads to the TA increase. So this could be the one reason. The second one is aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration's formula is right here. You can see that the CO2 is produced, and with higher CO2, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in water will increase too, but it won't help TA to increase. So this is not our answer. The third one is sulfate reduction. It's kind of the anaerobic respiration. And in this formula, it also creates bicarbonate, and it leads to the TA increase because it's the basic ion. And the anaerobic respiration only happens when oxygen is gone in sediments. There's microorganisms decompose organic matter. So, where's the difference between North Shore and Inner Lagoon? The main difference is in the sediments, like right here, the sulfate reduction. Inner Lagoon had an anaerobic respiration in deeper sediments that produce a lot of TA. So here comes our conclusion. We think the key effect is the sulfate reduction, and it's called anaerobic respiration. Because of the Inner Lagoon's slow water flow, it limits the oxygen to get in the deeper sediments. And once the oxygen runs out by the aerobic respiration, the anaerobic respiration will produce a lot of TA and go back to water. So, with long water residence time, seagrass meadows perform better in carbon capture and ocean acidification buffering. And it all thanks to total alkalinity. Here's some take-home message. The longer water residence time, area like Inner Lagoon are more efficient at capturing carbon. Because slow water flow promotes anaerobic respiration in deeper sediments, which significantly increase the total alkalinity and had a better carbon capture and net zero effect. Thank you for your attention.